Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 10. Module 10 is your research paper rough draft module. So we're going to start off with you just writing a good rough draft of your essay. This is going to be pretty rough at this point. We're expecting you to really just be trying to get your ideas down with the expectation that you will be spending multiple drafts revising, making sure that you've included everything and that sort of thing. For right now, we're just concerned with getting the information out. So there should be some more steps after this point before you get to a final draft stage. This is also the draft that you'll turn in the next module. We'll be doing a peer edit. So when you do a peer edit, you're going to be anticipating reading other students' writing and then providing feedback for them. So just be aware of that. You'll need that rough draft done in this module in order to be able to participate. So I've got a couple of things in here, but the only assignment really is to complete that rough draft. So I put some things in here just as far as resources are concerned. There are some places that you can look. I've got some good videos here that I like about integrating sources and synthesizing sources, which are two of our major concerns for the class, making sure that you're meeting those outcomes. And then some chapters out of the textbook that will kind of help you using research a little bit better. Our focus here is making sure that research is the primary component of your essay, because that is like the main criteria that we're trying to meet. Is how much research can you put in here? And so the biggest mistake students make is just write their essay without including actual research. And so I've got some things in here. This is some information that I use in my on-site classes. And so there are just different PowerPoints that I have. If you're interested in like how to put together headers and block quotations, if you're interested in, how to start your essay, what you should put in the middle of your essay, I've got a PowerPoint. You can either view the slides or you can listen to me talk about the slides. So there's a lot that you can do there. And then I also have this page here, which is about revising and knowing source usage. And so really helping that research work for you. There's this really great article called "Annoying Ways People Use Sources." And he just identifies 6 ways that students tend to use sources that mean that they don't work really well in the essay. And so you're welcome to take a look at it. It's kind of a funny article. He uses a lot of humor. And so I think it's an effective way to teach students just some better ways to include sources in their essay than they might have thought of before. So, and those are just some resources for you. I encourage you to look over them. And then as far as the assignment is concerned, all you're doing is actually writing the rough draft of your essay. So I want at least 5 pages of your research essay. Total for the final draft will be 7. So 7 and 9. So you need at least 5. So for a lot of students, this means that they've written their full essay, except that it's just not long enough yet and they need to develop some sections. For some students, this means that they just start at the beginning, they write 5 pages and then they stop when they get to 5 pages. And so they just don't have a conclusion yet, which is also fine. Main things to remember: making sure that you do have a full 5 pages of text, that you do give an introduction. Now, if you are one of those people where writing an introduction is difficult, you may decide to skip over the introduction and just include that working thesis and then jump right into the body, and that's fine too. Just make sure that you label, like if you're skipping over something, make sure that you indicate what you're skipping. So if you want to expand on some points later, that's fine. You can just put expanding on later or something like that, or insert section on, or insert introduction or whatever, that's fine. And just so that I know that you know that it's not complete yet, and then I know where you're going to add things. And then if you have questions, you can always include those as well. So some students will they want a little bit of feedback from me on specific things, so they'll include a question, and that's fine. I'm expecting it to be pretty messy at this stage, and so don't feel like you need to use really formal wording or special grammar or whatever, making sure that you're just writing like you would normally write. And so if this feels a little bit more like just your ideas coming out on the page a little bit squirrely, that's completely fine. I do have the AI level set at 1. I don't mind if you're using, Grammarly or whatever to help check your grammar and such, but making sure that the majority of this is your writing. I don't want AI's version of your essay. And so in this type of assignment, I am not grading you on grammar at all. So as long as you have your 5 pages of text, you're not going to, even if they're like the worst thing you've ever written, I'm still not going to take off points for grammar. So just kind of keep that in mind, that if that just makes you feel better, making sure that you're just doing your own work. So if you have questions as you generate this rough draft, just let me know. Get yourself going and get a good rhythm going, and just type out some stuff and try to use as much research as possible, since that is the primary criteria. But anticipate that we'll be going back to this draft, and you'll be really revising and editing and proofreading over the next few weeks. So it's definitely not a finalized version. If you have questions, send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.